Well, hello, my friends. I'm Beth English. I'm here with Sergio Gomez, and today we're going to talk about how to find your emotional wisdom in art.
I love that topic. That is very interesting. Already by the title, I'm intrigued. How do we find our emotional wisdom? That's pretty cool. I love that it comes from the heart, right? Already from that title.
Oh, yes. Let's just go ahead and define emotional wisdom because I think we wonder, well, what is it that we're actually learning from our emotions and how are we applying that in our life? And I think that's really all it is because wisdom is taking your experiences and your knowledge and you're putting them together and integrating them so that you have a greater sense of insight about what's going on around you, what's going on in your heart and what's going on in the world. And so today I just wanted to talk about how can we do this with art? Because of course, all of you watching love art, just like Sergio and I do. And we want to use it to express ourselves, to
Hmm.
express our emotions. And so it's a very powerful tool to be creating. And so I just wanted to share how I have been able to find emotional wisdom in my art making, as well as how we all can do that, together. And so, Sergio, first, before we begin on my tips, what resonates with you when I bring up emotional wisdom in art?
I love that idea because the first thing I think about, and just as you were introducing the topic, I was thinking, what if I could like pull my emotions from my body and sit them on the other side of my desk? What would we talk about? you know, if my emotions were a person, which I guess they are, it's me. What would we chat about? And I think that's I'm looking forward to see how these tips kind of will help me to have that conversation with my own emotions.
Well, one way to find our emotional wisdom is by understanding ourselves. So when we're making art, a lot of times we approach the work, we have some sort of idea maybe of what we want to create. And then somewhere in the process, we start to have ideas that are connecting along the way where we might see ourselves in the work differently than we did when we first started. And I think while we're in that process of learning through the process of creating, we have insights that enable us to understand ourselves better. And that is such a priceless experience when we can approach a work of art and say, who am I? And what am I doing with this art? And then once we've created it, we can take a step back and really take in that wisdom of that learning experience. For example, one time I painted a piece that I call Forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a process of forgiving myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just put it all on the canvas. And I went through a process of creating it, but also in that process, I was forgiving myself for not knowing better beforehand and just letting the things in the past go so that I could start my future fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, Sergio, you've done a lot of work for yourself where you discover things about who you are through your artwork. Do you have something in mind that comes up as we talk about this?
Yeah, actually, during the pandemic, I think the pandemic was something that took everyone by surprise. I remember, like the first couple of pieces that I did during the pandemic were very dark. Were very, very dark, and I did them kind of out of the emotion of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
of just kind of reacting as a way to react to what was going on. This was early in the pandemic, where there still were a lot of questions, things like that, but a lot of confusion and lockdowns and all that stuff that was really difficult. And I remember making those works, and once I finished those works, and later I had opportunity to show them last year, and so I was able to kind of look back at the work and say, what was going on, what's happening. And I noticed that in both works, even though they were dark pieces, there was a sense of light. There was a light there, like a presence of light. And to me, kind of like that was like this idea of, well, maybe, even though we were in this dark moment, I could still perceive there was hope. There was something to look forward, something to look at. And I didn't quite notice it when I made the piece at the beginning, but it was in retrospect, a year and a
Mm-hmm.
half later, looking back at those pieces. So yeah, I love how our own work can teach us so much about ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, I love that story because it brings me to my next point,
Hmm.
and it helps us understand each other.
Mm. Yeah.
Because even as you're sharing your story of creating the art that you made, I was able to understand you in a way that maybe I didn't know before or hadn't remembered. And I think when we share our stories through our artwork, we learn how to understand one another better. And the outcome of all of that is having compassion for one another, developing empathy and a better understanding. And that's something that's so important that we need. We need to see ourselves, but we also need to see each other because
Hmm.
we are meant to be in this world with one another. And what a great place for us to be able to come together and connect over a single idea or emotion that's going to help us improve our capacity for understanding one another and raising our emotional wisdom. And this is the power of art. This is why we do what we do, right?
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that totally resonates as well. I think, when we look at each other's works, we also learn from each other. As you said,
Mm.
it makes us feel more connected, kind of like going back to the pandemic, so many artists responded with their own art and through the pandemic, and kind of, we were able to connect also because there were similar sentiments, the similar kind of feelings in the inside. And so, yeah, I think made us closer together because of that.
And then it brings me to my last point. It helps us understand the world. No
Mm.
matter where we are in the world, there are things going on in our specific areas that,
Mhm.
when expressed through art, we can have a better understanding of what people are going through in places that we may not understand. Now, we all understood the pandemic. That was a worldwide thing that happened to us that we were able to connect, but that's not always the case.
Right.
There's war and there's all sorts of things going on that we feel like we're emotional about and want to express as artists. And maybe someone from the other side of the world may not totally understand what we're going through, but in the artwork,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can find something that helps connect us and bring us together. So there's so much power in art making because it connects us to ourselves, to each other, and to the world. And that is how we move forward. Because if we can all come together and share and understand one another and have empathy and compassion,
Mm-hmm.
that is a world full of hope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we need that.
Yeah.
We need a world that we can feel like there is something for us in the future. And if we just keep hanging on and we don't give up and we keep moving forward, and there is power in the work that we create, then we're going to keep creating and we're going to keep sharing because we know that there's meaning there.
Right.
And the job of an artist is to create that meaning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love
And
that. Mhm.
yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I said I love, and as the title that for the episode, it makes us wiser. Wiser
Mhm.
individuals as we experience the art, as we experience the emotions, as we put our shoes in somebody else's experience. I become wiser because of your experience and because you
Mhm.
express them through your art, and vice versa. Right? I think that is beautiful. That's a great thought, great idea.
Well, I hope that we can move forward today, understanding that who we are matters, what we create matters, and sharing that matters.
Hmm.
Because what we're doing is just simply connecting with other people who felt the same things that we have felt, helping people feel like they're not alone in their struggle, helping people connect when they maybe not have those connections that they need to give them that hope that they need to move forward. And so, you know me, I am so passionate about the power of art, the power of creativity. I could talk about this all day long. I could stand up on a mountaintop and preach about this because of how it's impacted my life in such a positive way and so many lives that I've seen. And so, for those of you watching, I just want you to just remember that what you do and what you create is helping not just yourself, but each other in the world. And you can move forward knowing that you're not just creating art, but you're giving people hope.
Hmm. Absolutely. I love that. I think that's a great message for today and for a long time, right? I think we just need to keep reminding ourselves of that message, and that will make a huge difference in the way, we work as well.
Well, Sergio, where can our friends go and find where you are spreading hope into the world?
That's right. If you want to find me, you can find me on any social media at Sergio Gomez Art. Best way to connect with me is through social media. If you want to visit my website, sergiogomezonline.com, and all my coaching resources at theartistnextlevel.com. How about you, Beth?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, all the places. Right. And my website is bethenglish.com. And if this message touched you today, if it was something that you needed to hear, reach out, send me a message. I would love to connect with you.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Super.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next week with another great episode.
Goodbye. Bye, Beth. Bye, my friend.